So for this gun, I could just use it as is without rigging it, but I think I'm going to rig it because I want this thing to slide when the player cocks the gun, or because it's a pump action gun. So whenever the player pumps it, I want this to move. So that's really the only reason why I'm going to rig it. But first, I'm going to add an armature. I'm going to go into edit mode. Bring this down a little bit, it doesn't have to be so big. Thinking, before I do that, what I want to do is I want to import a character. And I want to scale the gun. Oops. So I'm going to put it right next to his hand so I can get an idea. Just how big. Actually, a better way is probably to use a scale. Find a scale image. Go to Google. Shotgun for a person. So this is about the scale, I think. So I would say if this guy rotates it, then it should be at the bottom of his groin to the top of his head. Actually, this one looks a lot bigger. This one would be like his groin, a little bit bigger than his head. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually I'll just see how many units it is. So from here, 1. So this is 1 unit. From his groin to the top of his head is 1.8 units. 1.7 units. So I'll make the gun 1.9 units. So what's it now? It's about 1.6. I want it to be 1 point, about this big. I think that's a good size. I'm just going to save that as scale. And I'll hide the flint armature and all his geometry. Okay. I can add the armature. Go into edit mode. I'm thinking that's all I need. So I'll call this the root. I'll call this the pump. Select both. Control P, keep offset. Go into object mode. I'm going to name the armature shotgun underscore armature. Make sure you have armature in the name. I think that's required in order for Unreal to recognize it. Same thing with this root bone. It needs a bone called root. So the very first bone in the hierarchy, it's got to be named root. So I'm gonna unsubdivide this for a second, and I'm gonna, with that gun selected, I'm gonna select the armature, Control P, degroups, and the gun selected. I'm gonna go into edit mode, go to wireframe, with the whole gun selected, minus the pump. So I'm going to this tab here, with the root selected. Going to assign, and with pump bone selected, I need to do the opposite. So I'm going to select the pump. And I'm going to hit assign. So now I'll go back to object mode. I'm going to increase subdivision by 1. Select the armature, go into pose mode. Now with the root bone selected, I can see that I can move the gun around with the root bone. And I can make this pump. I'm not sure. I know nothing about guns, so I'm assuming that it goes backwards like this. Pump it back and then recoil forward. I don't know. So save this as the rig. I'm also going to save it as shotgun default pose. And I'm also going to export it as default pose, because the default pose is going to be the main skeletal mesh in Unreal, and all the animations are going to point to the default pose. So with that exported, I'll save it once more. Now, not gonna use an animation blueprint, so I don't need an idle animation, but I do need a pump animation. Which should be one, I want to say 1 second, I'm not sure how long. Click clack. Someone pumps a gun. A click clack feels like 1 second. I don't know. So I'll key both bones. Key the end as well. Okay, so I scrub through it. Click, clack. That's good enough. So with both the geometry and the armature selected, I'll export it as shotgun, pump, and also save it as shotgun, pump. Okay, so once more. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to animate the main character. So I'm going to open up the default pose of the main character. And I'm going to import the gun FBX, the default pose of the gun that I just created, because I'm going to use it as a reference. So I guess his hand, his knuckles should line up with this here. Maybe not. I'm not exactly sure. Because his finger is going to be in the direction of the trigger. So I'm just trying to think. actually going to keep it like this. Like that. And all I'm going to do is I'll line up his index knuckle. Not his first knuckle, but his second one. I'm thinking. Maybe his maybe his third one's better. That way the rest of all his other fingers can wrap around the handle. Bring it up. Make sure it's touching the palm of his hand. It's close enough. And in case you don't know, I'm going to parent this to the bone. So if you want to parent it to a bone, you go to edit mode, select the bone. If it'll let me. I want the other bone. It's overlapping another one. It says wrist IK. I want this one wrist R. So if I select the gun and then the player armature, and then I press Control P, then all I have to do is select bone. So it's going to remember it's this one that's selected at the moment. So if I go into pose mode, and select the wrist controller, as you can see the gun follows the hand. Okay, okay, so I've actually saved this as a grab gun from truck. The first animation that I'm going to do is where he grabs the gun from the back of the truck. So I'm going to go into animation mode, and this animation is going to be 2 seconds, so 60 frames. Another thing that I should do is I should import the truck. Pose. And I just got to move him up, move the truck up. So I'm going to make it easy for myself, and I'm going to line up the back part of the truck with his toes from the top view. I'll just make it easy for me to know how to place everything in Unreal. So with that done, I'm going to select the character's armature, go to pose mode, animation. So I'm going to start off by selecting all the bones, and I'm going to set a keyframe at the very first frame and at the very end frame. This is because they're going to be very different. So the first frame, he has no gun in his hand, so you just have to pretend that there's no gun in his hand. It's basically his idle position, but I could have just used that file, but it would have been really hard to position the gun in his hand, so I decided to use this. Make sure I press the period key and make sure individual origins is selected. And I'll just close his hand a little bit. Close his thumb. And do the same thing for the other hand. Oops. Okay, everything. I want to put one more in the middle. One more key here. Actually, I'll put one there. And so this will be his idle position. Copy and paste this one in the middle. At the end, I might as well just copy and paste these the same, because all I need to do now is, first I need to make sure first I'm going to go to local mode. Yeah, the position of the gun isn't great. See how this looks. I think it's pretty insignificant. Not going to matter too much. I'll just move the thumb up a little bit. So this pose is him holding the gun down. So I don't want that arm to intersect with his the gun, so it's going to intersect a little bit anyways if I move this forward. Move it up. Move his elbow forward. to where it was. That's good enough. Through key. So I've got to animate this middle key. So I'll have them step forward. I'm going to grab all the bones on the spine and rotate them forward. I'll have them move forward like this. This hand. It looks like I'm gonna have to have them as tippy toes maybe. Oops. I might have to do it this way. You may have to go all the way up and bend over to reach the gun. This it's got to go even higher. Be bent over more. Like this. I really want his hand to touch the truck floor. This clavicle has to really bend down. Some of his spine joints has to rotate more. His hip has to be rotated. So I guess this hand, first of all, should be making contact first. And his 2 feet. Oops. foot starts to go up. Actually, this whole thing should be moved back. Okay, I really want this foot to make contact right away. If I move this up, okay. I'm gonna quickly scrub through. So we start here. So this hand can be, oops, and start higher. And basically what I'm going to do grab all the bones. And we're just going to reverse it on the way back. So this one's going to be this one. This one will be this. And this one will be that. Okay, so grabs the gun, comes back down. The only thing that I would change is right here. His knee goes through the truck, so maybe I'll try the knee out. And on the way down, the gun's up there, but on the way here, the gun should be more like this. Wrong one. Okay, I'm just going to save this real quick. So if I scrub through this, grabs the gun, comes back down. Okay, I'm happy with that. So I'm going to go here, select the player's all the geometry, as well as the armature, and I'm going to export it as an FBX. It's taking a little while. Say it once more. So here I can hide the truck because I won't be needing it anymore. So what I want to do now is I want to create his animations when he's holding the gun. Oops. So I need to create the idle walk and run. So I will start with the idle keyframe, the first frame, and then the only thing that I want to animate for the idle is the main control and the wrists. Because what I'm going to do is the first and last frames are the same, but for the middle frame I'm going to maybe just go slightly forward and then quarter of the way I'm going to nudge it maybe in the left direction, and then the last quarter I'll nudge it in the opposite direction. So he's going side to side and forward, so he's got a very, very slight movement. So this is his idle. So I'm going to export this. Make sure everything's selected. So because I already have an idle, this one's going to be gun down. Idle. And also save it as gun down idle. So I'll quickly create the walk animation. So I can just go and delete all these ones, all these keys, and I'll start off by animating the feet. So the feet goes 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. And I gotta bring him down so his feet are touching the ground. Looks more naturalistic if everything's nudged back, I guess. Oops. And the last frame is the exact same, so just keyframe the feet. Middle frame, the feet switch spots. So for this one, here the foot is moving back, and then on the return, about halfway, bring the foot slightly up as the foot returns forward, and it's kind of angled down, and right before it hits the ground, I want to grab this key, copy paste it. The heel touches the ground, just lightly touches the ground right before the foot falls, just like that. And so you can deal with this one, except this one returns at the beginning. I'm going to rotation, bring it up, and then about 2 frames before it hits the ground, I'll copy and paste, and I'll angle it up so only the heel touches right before the foot lands. Okay, so that's the foot, or the feet, and I'm going to grab the main controller and the wrists. I'm going to keyframe the last frame the same as the first frame, as well as the middle frame, but the quarter of the way, because only one foot is on the ground, the other one's returning, the player is in a higher position like this. So imagine if he's like walking along, there's almost like a wave motion as he's going, goes up and down, up and down. So up and down, up and down. And another thing that's usually natural in a walk is as the person is walking, let's keep from the middle here. Grab all the spine bones. When this foot is forward, then he turns, oops, he slightly turn this way. Come on, okay. And same with the last frame. But when the other foot's forward, body moves slightly that way. So in order, but he has to be looking forward constantly, so over here, I'm going to rotate his head, give the same key at the end, and in the middle, like this. And as you can see, his arms are a bit like stretched, so actually for both the wrists, I'm going to erase these middle ones for the time being. And I'm just going to focus on these two extremes where when this foot's forward, this wrist or this hand is slowly like this and slightly backwards, like that. And this hand is a little bit forward. So whenever a foot is forward, the opposite arm is forward. That's how people usually walk. When the other foot's forward, and the opposite happens. This arm is slightly forward, like this. And the gun will go pointing almost in the opposite direction, like that. And this arm, oops, will be slightly back, but still contacting the gun. So grab these two. One thing that I need to add, oops, with the two wrists selected and the main control, I have to do now, because I deleted these keys, I need to bring these wrists back up as he, as he moves up. The wrists have to be slightly up. So that the height of the wrists are following the height of the upper body. And I'm also going to grab the main control again. Whenever this foot moves back about halfway, when he's in the up position, this left foot is returning, and this one has all the weight. So if this foot has all the weight, then the upper body has to slightly lean to that direction, so that the entire weight of the body is down on that leg. The same with this key right here. pretty good. File, export, FBX, gun down, walk. Okay, so with that, that's it. I'm going to open up the gun down idle once more. Just the idle, okay. I'm going to delete all the keys except for the first one. The run is going to be 15, it's half a second, so 15 frames. And I'll start with the feet. So the two extreme poses that I like to use are the one where his front heel is touching the ground, and his other foot is like way up in the high position behind him. Another thing that I need to do at the beginning is when people are running, usually they're not upright, they're kind of angled forward like that, and I also want to bring it down to give a bend in his knee, and also make sure that his heel is touching the floor. I'm going to quickly save this. It's going down, run. Make sure he's looking forward as well, so I'm going to tilt this up. I think his foot couldn't be more forward. And this one can be here. I'm going to do the walk and run. This should be pretty easy because I'm only animating the legs. I'm not going to do any upper body stuff because his upper body has to remain forward because he's aiming. So the only thing I'm concerned with as far as the upper body goes is it's basically the main control in the arms, how high it is. So keyframe that first frame. The last frame of the feet is the same. The middle frame, it's reversed because he's on an angle. They're going to be slightly different positions of the feet. Okay, so for this one, it goes forward. This one on the forward movement, I'm going to rotate it down, bring it up. It's going to hit the heel 2 frames before it makes full contact. And same thing with this one. This frame, this part, he's going back, and then on the return, I need to rotate it down, bring it up, and same deal here. I'm going to give him a nice little heel contact. Okay, so that was the main thing. But now with the upper body, the only thing that I have to do, I don't have to do any upper body rotations or head rotations or any of that. All I need to do is make sure that he's, which is the key, the middle frame and the last frame, so that it's at the same level as the first frame. But it's these quarter ones where he needs to be up. And also, depending on what foot his weight is on, for this frame, this is the one returning, so this one is the one that's bearing all the weight, so I just shift him forward. This one, I shift him the opposite direction. Not shift him forward, I shift him to the side. So that's basically it. Super simple. Let me save that out as, I'm going to export it, sorry, as gun up, walk. To save it out as the gun up walk as well. I'm going to open up the gun up idle once more. So with this one, I'm going to delete all the keys except for the first one. And this is going to be a run, so it's only going to be 15 frames. And I'm going to start off by positioning the feet. Reposition the hands and the main controller. I'm going to bring it down so that heel touches the ground. If the heel goes into the ground, just bring the heel up a little bit. So for now, I'm going to deal with the feet first. First and last frames are the same. The middle frame, the heels are reversed. But because the upper torso is rotated, the 2 feet aren't going to be the same distance. It's going to be about there. And this one is going to be here. I just want to compare the distance of this one. So the other one, okay, that's not so bad. So I'll start with this one. This one starts here, goes back. Last toe touch. I'm going to bring it back as far as I can, right before the knee locks out. I always want to keep a nice little, like a subtle bend in the knee. So from there, foot flat for 2 frames. And then frames after that, it's just bring it up to the toe. So the toes touching the ground. Toes touching the ground. And then final toe touch, and then it kicks off. This one here, the farthest position is somewhere out here. Toe pointed slightly up. So every key in between is just bringing it down just a slight bit. You just got to repeat the process for this one. So here, final toe touch before he kicks off. This one is foot flat. Foot flat. And then toe. Bring up the toe. Okay, so all that's good. The only thing I need to add, like the walk animation, I don't have to animate anything in the upper body. The only thing I have to make sure is the first and last frame and the middle frame, it's all the same height, the main controller and the wrist controllers. And then you can't forget that after each heel, he makes foot contact, so he drops. And here also he drops. And then after the drops, he makes an ascent. this one. Okay. I'll export that as gun up. Gun up run. And there's one last animation that I would like to make, which is when he pumps the gun. So I'm going to do that with the gun down idle. So all I'm going to do with this one is get rid of all the keys except for the first frame. And the initial position, he's going to be pointing the gun up. Like this. Makes the gun pointing up even higher. it should be straight like that. So first and last frame and the middle frame is all going to be the same. The only difference is in the middle frame, I'm going to his hand is going to go down. So the gun animation of the pump going down and up, it's going to be played separately because it's going to be a separate thing, like a separate skeletal mesh that's parented to the Clint mesh. So I don't have to worry about it in this file. So all that's happening in this animation is it goes click, clack. That's it. That's all I want it to do. So I'm going to export it as FBX. We call this gun pump. Save this as gun pump. Okay, this video is by far the longest I've done, I think. It's going to be close to 2 hours. So I was going to implement everything into Unreal in this video, but I don't think that it's probably not a good idea. I'll save that for the next video. So the next video, I'm going to take all these animations, dump it into Unreal, and you'll get to see all of it in action. So thanks for watching, and please stay tuned for future videos.